Brian Corrion. Let's keep it going, Brian Corrion. Good evening, everybody. Hey. Don't be surprised if you hear a dial tone, because this shit's off the hook. Hey-o. But no, it's good. Like, if you can do a show for 2 people, you can do a show for 5, you know, so it works that way. I mean, like, this is a crowd, you say this crowd's small, but it's intense, right? Like midgets on a camping trip.
Oh my God.
Small and intense. No, actually, I got a little under the weather because I got drunk with my dog last night. You ever heard that term, hair of the dog?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Most people don't know that. You don't think of those sayings, you know, hair of the dog. But apparently 1 human beer is equivalent to 7 dog beers. Yeah. You ever heard that term, sick as a dog? Yeah, I had to hold his ears back all night long. But he's so cute that he had to put his paw on the floor so his bed wouldn't spin. Sometimes you look at, I think dogs are, like, you get big when you own pets, you got responsibilities, and there's things like you go to the grocery store to pick out dog food, you know, and there's like 10% of that whole grocery store is designated to the pet. And they got like the dry dog food, they got healthy weight dog food, healthy joint dog food, healthy longevity dog food. And if they got healthy weight, they probably got healthy joints, which means they have healthy longevity, so which do you get? You know, they'd rather eat a litter box. You know, and they got the canned dog food. I don't know if you guys have pets. Yeah, so they got the canned dog food, but if you didn't realize that every can of dog food is exactly the same food in it, they just put a different picture of a different dog on there. So you walk down the aisle and you see, oh, Dalmatian, that's mine. Yeah. Golden Retriever, that's mine. You know, I put my picture on a bottle of wine, I'd buy the whole store. I was walking down 5th Avenue the other day, and there was a lady pushing a dog in a stroller.
That's only Naples, that's weird.
Yeah, I've seen other places, but there's a lot down here. Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird too. Because the funny part was she had a kid on a leash. You know, the little water dish there, and a little fan blowing on the dog, and had a little iPod playing some music. Ooh, let the dogs out. But then that light turned yellow, and she scurried across the street, and the kid fell over backwards and dragging behind, and his diaper's dragging down. You can see the tan line his harness straps were. I was appalled. I walked right up to her, I looked her right in. Ma'am, that wheel is loose on the stroller, let me fix that for you. Alternate ending number B. It's like, oh, if you want to potty train your kid, you rub their nose in it, you don't put them on a leash. My dog put his paw through the window and couldn't open. Had to take him to the vet. If you go to take your pet to the vet, you got to pay for that shit in advance, which is kind of great. It's $1,800. And then I had to fill out a questionnaire and says, if we have complications while he's under, would you like us to revive him? And I'm thinking about it. He's like 10 years old. He's getting old. So I'm thinking about it. And the vet's looking at me like, really? This is your family pets? I was like, I don't agree with Obama about anything except for one thing. The older they get, the less I'm putting into them. And that's why I don't take my grandparents to the hospital anymore. Got any dog lovers in the house?
Oh yeah. Yep.
I'm dating one too. Got those little pet names for you, like Honey and Baby and Cupcake, because they're sweet, petite, and good to eat. I accidentally called her Muffin Top. Still eating that one. But we learned from our relationship. She's taught me things, and I kind of go shopping and defend from salespeople. You know, if you don't want to talk to a salesperson, you just put your hand up and say, just looking. You just walk away, just looking to walk away. And I'm like, honey, there's spots in life you can't do that. I found myself in the men's locker room, and the attendant came up to me, how can I help you, sir? Just looking. I was at a funeral a few months ago, and I'm like, how can we help you, sir? I'm just looking. Not allowed to go to Chuck E. Cheese anymore. No, but I was at my uncle's funeral, and it was up in Detroit. He's a devout Catholic, and I hadn't been to a funeral in a long time. I grew up Methodist, but a lot of families Catholic. But the altar boys were 55 years old. I said, either they knew how to defend themselves or they're good at what they do. He's in your head. Actually, I make so much money doing comedy, I move furniture for a hobby. You know, I saw different things on the road on travel, and I was up in Georgia and I saw a billboard that said, meet 100 Latino women in one weekend with 800 number. So I called it, was the immigration office. There's an attorney's billboard up here on the road here. It was like Sharon Cox, attorney at law. We'll get you off. Imagine working for her, like, you know, like you're in training, before you pass your board. I work for a team of Cox. They had a job fair, they call it a Cox Fest. That's kind of bizarre. I don't know if you know, there's a few old people in Florida. Yeah, because I was driving up to northern Florida, there's like 19 billboards in a row for pro-life. Which I'm like, it's kind of a waste of money, because you figure 90% of the women in Florida can't even have kids. And the other 10% can't read. And they got another 9 billboards after that for the incisionless vasectomy doctor. They put his billboards first, they wouldn't even need the pro-life billboards. Did you guys look up to anybody as a child, like for an idol, like a sports star or something, or look up to worship somebody? Let's not use the word worship, because that would get weird. But I looked up to Mr. Clean. Not because of the bald head and his cute earrings, but because he can make almost any woman get on all fours.
Oh, gosh.
I had another girlfriend, you know, and she was kind of, we're sitting at a bar, and she's got a daughter that's like 21 years old, she's a cute gal, and so we're sitting next to this other couple who are also a second marriage, a second dating, they had a kid, and the guy leans over to me and goes, "Man, you should see her daughter, I would so do her, she's hot." And I'm like, and this is, she's talking about his girlfriend's daughter, and then my girlfriend looks at me and said, "If you ever said that, we'd be over, it'd be done." So believe me, I would never want to sleep with your daughter. And my girlfriend said, "What's wrong with her? She's not good enough for you?" That's the relationships of Florida right there. I'm recently engaged. Everybody keeps asking me, "When's the date? You set the date, when you get married?" I said, "As soon as she gets divorced." Or the youngest child in Florida is about 43 years old. So I checked into this, I said, "Dad, stop looking for me, I told you I moved out." You guys been to Orlando? Yeah. You guys see where they got the power lines look like Mickey Mouse ears?
Yes.
I just think that's just a little pushy. I mean, you don't go to Miami and see the silhouette of Cuba on top of their power poles. They're starting a recycling program in Orlando, though. They're going to sell those power poles to Dolly World, but they're going to turn them upside down. You know, like when Apple first came out with their tablet, they wanted to make a tutorial tablet for kids. So they called it iTouch Kids. Didn't work out so well, so they called it a Maxi Pad. It only came in red. But, no, I had some kind of fun. I had, like, my grandmother's living in a nursing home, 92 years old. And like, it's like this, living the dream there. I couldn't believe it. And so like, I try to go and visit her whenever I get the chance. And they say, well, come over Saturday night. They got community theater night in the nursing home. All the people get together and do a play for them. So they're doing The Wizard of Oz. And so you've seen a 94-year-old woman in ponytails and ruby red therapeutic shoes hopping down the yellow brick road. Well, actually, it wasn't yellow until her bladder bag broke. When they're hopping down the brick road, let's call it that, yellow brick road, it's like, walkers and wheelchairs and depends, oh my. Walkers and wheelchairs and depends, oh my. There's no place like home hospice. There's no place like home hospice. But they had all the same characters, like the Tin Man had no heart, was actually a pacemaker. Scarecrow had no brain, was actually Alzheimer's. The Lion had no pride. He took a little blue pill and wanted to show it to everybody. But no, we got done. My grandmother introduced me to some of her friends. She's proud of her grandson. You know, she comes over. She introduces me to Gertie. So like, I start talking to Gertie. She starts telling me about her Alzheimer's medication. She's telling me about her Alzheimer's medication. She's telling me about her Alzheimer's medication. She's telling me about her Alzheimer's medication. And she leans over and goes, "Want to go back to my room?" Oh, that caught me off guard there. So I signed in the overnight guest log. One thing led to another. I had a bent over the Craftmatic adjustable bed. I don't know if you ever used one of those before, but man, there's levers, there's angles, you can put it up, you can put it back up, you can put it down. There's handles, there's tie downs. There's even a panic button. You don't need a safe word. If you push that, threesome, a nurse comes running in. That was the biggest black dude I ever saw.